Just call it as it is. Robin, first of all, is too old to be starting.
It's not like a career that you can pour yourself into, because there's a point where you're going to be told that you cannot do it anymore.
Somewhere along the way, society created this invisible timer for women. A countdown that quietly starts ticking the moment you turn 25 and supposedly runs out by the time you hit 30. And if you listen to certain corners of the internet today, turning 30 means you're suddenly washed, past your prime, or somehow less beautiful than what you were just a couple of years earlier. But when you look at the fashion industry, the very industry that helped create these beauty standards, something interesting starts to happen. The women who actually shaped fashion history didn't lose their beauty with age. In many cases, they became even more powerful, more influential, and more iconic. So today, I want to talk about ageism in the fashion industry, where the obsession with youth came from, how it helped to shape the modeling world, and why I believe that we're starting to see a shift where beauty is no longer tied to age. Fashion has always been about novelty, the idea of something new. New silhouettes, new designers, new aesthetics, and over time, youth became the visual symbol of that newness. For decades, modeling agencies recruited girls as young as 14 or 15 because the industry believed younger faces looked more fresh and easier to mold into whatever aesthetic a brand wanted. Many supermodels began working extremely young. For example, Naomi Campbell was discovered at 15, Kate Moss was discovered at 14. This meant that by the time some models reached their late 20s, they had already been in the industry for over a decade. I mean, imagine starting your career at 15 and being told by the time that you're 28 that you're aging out of the industry. That's essentially the system that fashion created. For a long time, the fashion industry operated with what was basically an unspoken expiration date for women. Models were expected to be at their peak in their late teens and early 20s. After that, opportunities started to decline. But the irony is that the same women who were considered aging out were often the ones who had become the most recognizable faces in the world. These women didn't fade away when they turned 30 or 40 or 50. If anything, they became more iconic, because beauty and fashion is not about youth, it's about presence. Even today, Naomi Campbell continues to walk runways and headline campaigns decades after her career began. Fast forward to today, and the conversation around ageism has moved from magazines to social media. If you scroll through TikTok long enough, you'll eventually see someone joking that turning 30 is basically the end of youth. But historically speaking, 30 is barely the beginning of adulthood.
My brain's starting to bleed.
Some of the most successful fashion figures didn't even start their careers until later in life. Vera Wang entered fashion design at 40. The narrative that women have a very short window of beauty isn't actually rooted in biology. It's rooted in cultural storytelling. For decades, beauty advertising subtly reinforced the idea that aging was something women needed to fight. Anti-aging creams, anti-wrinkle serums, anti-everything. The language alone made aging sound like a problem that needed to be solved. But in recent years, some brands have started shifting their messaging. These moments are powerful because they challenge decades of messaging that equated beauty with youth. In the last decade, fashion has slowly started embracing a broader definition of beauty. Runways are becoming more diverse, not just in terms of race and body type, but also age. For example, Versace has been bringing back a lot of their original supermodels for their major fashion shows, and Balmain has also been casting iconic models from multiple generations. These shows remind audiences that fashion isn't about youth, it's about legacy. I personally believe that beauty doesn't fade with age, it evolves. You know, a woman in her 20s has a certain type of energy, curiosity for discovery and experimentation. But a woman who's in her 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on carries something different: confidence, presence, and self-assurance. These qualities create a different kind of beauty, one that the fashion industry is finally starting to recognize. So maybe the real question isn't whether beauty fades. Maybe the real question is, who benefits from convincing women that it does? Because when women believe their value decreases with age, they spend their lives trying to outrun time. But when you look at women who truly shaped fashion history, the most striking thing about them isn't youth, it's presence. Beauty doesn't expire, it evolves. So I'll leave you with this question here, and you guys can let me know down below what you think. Do you think society is finally moving away from ageism in fashion? Or do you think the pressure to stay young is still as strong as ever? Let me know.